Premiere Pro offers a variety of AI driven options for when you're working with audio. One very helpful option is the ability to automatically tag various audio sources, not to mention when it comes to dialogue, being able to make it sound better given the situation. Right now, I have my chapter 1.4 sequence opened up, which has three audio sources inside of it. If you're following along with the exercise files in your Premiere Pro panel, where you have the Leveraging AI in Premiere Pro project, head to the Chapter 1 folder and double click the Chapter 1.4 sequence. With these three clips in the timeline, let's press the spacebar to play back the first one.
One thing I like to think about is if you are getting ready to throw a ball and you're taking aim, and just as you start to release the ball, you look in the other direction. Where do you think the ball is going to land? It's not likely going to hit your target, and more than likely it's going to be somewhere in between.
I can hear that there's a lot of reverb, not to mention background noise within this shot. In order to work in the best workspace, I'm going to head over here to the top right-hand corner and choose Workspaces, Audio. If your interface looks different than mine, you can always reset your workspace from the window or the Workspaces icon. With the first video and audio source selected, I see the Essential Sound panel on the right-hand side. The first thing that I'm able to do is to auto tag it using AI. So it's analyzing the audio and deciding the type it is. Right now, it's seen it as dialogue, which is exactly what we want in this case. Also, it gives me an option right at the very top, Enhance. Once selected, we'll try to clean up that background noise, not to mention enhance it and make it more powerful, depending on what it sees and analyzes within what was recorded. Once it's finished processing, I can move my player to the beginning of the timeline, and let's play back what it's done.
One thing I like to think about is if you are getting ready to throw a ball and you're taking aim, and just as you start to release the ball, you look in the other direction. Where do you think the ball is going to land?
I'm going to press the spacebar to stop. Anytime that you want to hear the original source, you can toggle it off here within the Essential Sound panel next to Enhance Speech. And here's the original.
It's not likely going to hit your target.
And next to what Enhance Speech has done.
And more than likely, it's going to be somewhere in between.
If you find the overall Enhance Speech to be too overpowering, you can drag the mix amount lower in order for it to have less an effect on the original source, or in the cases where this isn't enough, increase the mix amount. We have two other sources here in the timeline that we can try this technique out on. So I'll just move over to my second source and play back just the first few seconds with the spacebar. This is a voiceover recording. My mouth is not really close to the iPhone microphone, and I'm just right by a highway. We can hear a lot of background noise in that shot, and let's now play back the third source.
The feeling that I feel when I'm creating, when I'm drawing, when I'm using a paintbrush.
This interview with Lindsay has her very far away from the microphone, not to mention some bird sounds in the background. At any point in time, we can select multiple clips within our Premiere Pro timeline and just ask the Premiere Pro Essential Sound panel to automatically identify them. Here we can see it's seeing both the third and the second clip here as both dialogue. Like we did with our first clip, we can click on the Enhance Speech button at the top of the dialogue panel. We'll do that for both the second and third clip. This will get to work in the background, which we can see by the progress bar at the top. And once it's complete, let's just move back to the second clip. This is a voiceover recording. My mouth is not really close to the iPhone microphone, and I'm just right by a highway. So that was the enhanced speech added. I just wanted to test this out to see how I could actually clean up this audio. As we can see, it did get rid of the background noise quite a bit, and we can always increase that amount. And let's now play the third clip source.
There's nothing like the feeling that I feel when I'm creating, when I'm drawing, when I'm using a paintbrush, when I'm erasing and going back and forth between ideas.
And once again, we can drag this mix amount higher or lower. Keep in mind that you can also add additional effects before this essential sound processing, like removing background noise to try to get a better end result. And that's how we can automatically tag audio sources, not to mention enhance speech inside of Adobe Premiere Pro.